sometimes the pain won't go away. My guess is we probably all know people for whom this is true. Maybe it's your friend. Maybe it's your grandparent or your mom or your dad. Maybe it's your sister or your brother. Maybe it's somebody you know at school or work or a neighbor. It's not fun being in pain. And it can be kind of hard to know what that's really, really like. So let's listen in to learn more about what a person in pain, a person who experiences pain quite often, actually hears when we say things to them. In other words, you may say something, but it can come off kind of differently to somebody who is living with pain. Let's pretend that Catherine is the person who's living with pain. And she'll tell us what she's interpreting about what Neil is saying when Neil's having a conversation with her. Let's listen in.
You don't look sick.
Since you can't see my condition, you have a hard time believing it's real.
I've never heard of your illness.
He thinks I'm making it up.
Have you taken any medicine?
He thinks I'm not trying hard enough to get better.
You need to stay positive.
Stop feeling sorry for myself.
Have you tried that new treatment that I read about last week online?
You read one article about my condition and assume you know more about it than I do.
Are you going to make it work to work today?
Am I seriously going to miss another day of work?
Someone somewhere has it worse than you do. Count your blessings.
I'm not allowed to be sad about my condition because it could be worse.
You never want to hang out.
You're tired of asking me to hang out.
Are you better yet?
You don't want to hear about me feeling sick anymore.
I'm sorry you're in pain. I wish I could take it away.
You know this is hard, and I know you're here for me.
You know, we've talked from time to time about privilege, white privilege in particular. But I realize that I've benefited from a very different kind of privilege for just about all of my life. For I've pretty much always been in great health, and I've been almost fully able-bodied. Yeah, I've had some broken bones along the way, and some other notable short-term body things going on. But it's true that some parts of me as well, you know, I'm getting a little more chronologically advanced, so things don't work in some ways quite as well as they used to. But you know, overall, I can pretty much do anything I want with my body. My energy's good. I am privileged. And I'm also aware that some of my closest loved ones, some family members and dear friends, are not privileged in the same way. They are the folks experiencing daily pain. They have some limited energy. They have their good days and not so good days. I've seen them limit their activity. Even sometimes simple things like going grocery shopping or meeting a friend for lunch or going to the movies is way over the top for them. It's been a journey of awakening to compassion for me as I strive to be a truly loving presence in their lives. I must admit that sometimes I felt frustrated, impatient. Yeah, me, impatient? Right. And perhaps not even too loving from time to time. I've been known to say some of the very things that Neil said to Catherine. And my closest loved ones, the ones with whom I have a deep heart connection, have shared with me that they have felt very much like the things that Catherine was expressing. And my guess is that each of us probably have our own experience with this as well, probably on both sides of the equation, being someone who has had chronic illness or pain, or someone who's very close to someone whose daily reality is that. And you know, that's the nature of privilege. You don't even know you have it. And you're skeptical when someone tries to explain to you that their life experience is very different from yours. And so today, let's learn just a bit together about what it's like to be a person with chronic illness. I've invited Angelica Bertrand to share some of her experience.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Angelica and I'm a member of this church. Reverend Shelley has asked me to talk to you today. What is it like for me to struggle through life with a chronic illness? I have put this finding box on the podium on purpose. Imagine you are having this box before you. In this box is your whole life's health history, starting from the very beginning when you were born. Imagine there are often people that would say things to you such as, she or he is a hypochondriac, or you look great today. When in reality, you can take this down. When in reality, you probably act happy because it's been such a very long time for you to get out of your house. But that really does not mean that you feel 100%. Imagine this box of mine has become my life challenge. When Reverend Shelley asked me, I was very hesitant to share my story. As a person that lived all her life with a disability, you keep how you really feel and how you really struggle, most likely to yourself. Plus, our German culture forbids to be too emotional about it. I knew in a very young age that I needed something to take on this challenge. I put my faith in God and His guardian angel. Until this very day, they helped me through. I was born in Germany in 1964. Back at this time, open heart surgeries were very unknown of. The doctors at the clinic sent me home with my parents. Probably they thought I was going to die. But I didn't. I was persistent. I have no idea who guided my parents to the university clinic and to this particular surgeon. But then again, my angels and God had a purpose for me. 1972 arrived, and with that, the first open heart surgeries in Germany. I was continuously in the care of doctors as a baby and as a toddler. The professor at this clinic offered me his service. By then, I was 9.5 years old. In a 13.5-hour surgery, he rerouted my heart, patched up my holes, and reconstructed my interrupted aortic arch. Hence, I was at this clinic in the hospital bed for 1.5 years, hooked up to all sorts of medical machines and hardly ever allowed to leave my hospital bed. Before I left Germany to come to the United States, I visited him. He was delighted to see me as a grown young woman. I thanked him for giving me a life. It was a continuous struggle for me to keep living in a body that sometimes did not allow you to do things. Often I was too tired short of breath. Why me? I think back now and then I knew that down the road, every 10 years or so, something could go bad with my plumbing. So, if you ask me, what is it like for you? Well, my friends, my answer would be, you live with it the best way you know how. In 1997, I had my third open heart surgery at Primrose Children's Hospital. My husband Bert was still alive back then, but he battled cancer, and he was dying. He helped me through my surgery, and in the same time, he prepared himself to die. Bert died April 8, 1997, leaving me alone. Still, I soldiered on without any support. I was in college back then as all this took place, and as I stand before you today, I wonder, how the heck did I survive all this? Plus continued with my university degree in social work and graduated in May of 2000. Again, my faith in God and many special blessings that I have received got me through. UUCO and Killen came into my life as a great blessing, and my health continued to spiral downward. I experienced 4 more major surgeries since 2012, and another major open heart surgery is going to lie ahead of me. You're probably now realizing that for the last 2.5 years, I was rarely able to attend church services. From 2012 to 2016, I have struggled to stay afloat. You probably wonder, how does she do it? Well, my friends, all I can say to you is this, and I will close my speech with Psalm 121. Where does my help come from? I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. At the end, my most gratitude goes to Killen, who sits with me continuously hours at home when I'm sick, who goes with me to the hospitals and or doctor appointments. Thank you, Killen. Thank you, Roger and Marlene, for being here today, and for the many blessings that I have received from you so that this woman can soldier on. Thank you, Reverend Shelley, for honoring those of us in UUCO who have health issues and disabilities. I'm, after all, a miracle child that still survives. Thank you to my UUCO family for letting me share my story today. Shalom and blessed be.
Thank you for being willing to share your story and help us understand a bit more. You know, Angelica and I were sharing, and she said, you know, that spoon theory that was developed by Christine Miserandino, who is a person living with lupus, is a great way for folks to awaken their compassion. It helps both people with chronic illness and those who love them learn just a bit more. And so I'm going to share this idea with you. How many of you have heard of this idea called spoon theory? Okay. Those of us who have the privilege of being healthy and reasonably able-bodied wake up in the morning with energy for the day, and we just go about our business without even thinking about it. Imagine what it would be like to get up in the morning and be handed perhaps a dozen spoons. Each spoon, each teaspoon, represents a burst of energy to complete a daily task. A person with chronic illness and pain uses a spoon every time they do something basic, like get out of bed, take a shower, prepare breakfast, eat breakfast. On some days, they may use up several of their spoons just getting going in the morning, leaving little energy for the rest of the day. And it could be that perhaps by the end of the day, they don't have the energy to make dinner and then actually eat it and then do the dishes afterwards. And maybe they think, oh, I'll go out to eat so I don't have to cook. But then they realize they're too tired to drive there and drive home. They don't have the energy to come out to a meeting in the evening or to go to a party or a movie. This spoon theory speaks to the experience also of people who suffer chronic depression, as well as those with physical medical conditions. Hearing this explanation of the daily reality of the chronically ill spoke to me. It's important to recognize, too, that this morning we're making some broad generalizations. Not every chronically ill person feels this way every day, but sometimes some of them do. That's the reality. So I'm asking you all to just imagine, if you will, those limited number of spoons and your own life, if that was your own reality. We'd like you to also imagine the lives of people who have a very different daily experience than yourselves. By doing this, you let your heart become awakened. And that's what compassion is all about. It's about awakening yourself. It's opening your eyes and your ears and your heart to the reality of others, to the suffering of others. And then letting that fresh awareness guide your actions. Yeah, I know I'm not perfect by any means. I know that. But the spoon theory has really helped me to be more loving, more patient, and less assumptive about what my loved ones can or cannot do on any given day. As much as I would wish, I can't take their pain away or magically give them a boost of energy that lasts all day. I can't fix their situation, but I can honor their wonderful wholeness as a person who just happens to be a person that has chronic illness as part of their life story. I love them for exactly who they are. Dr. Rachel Naomi Remen, a clinical professor of family and community medicine and also integrative medicine pioneer, has shared these wise words that I just want to let you know about this morning. She says this. She says, many times when we help, we really do not serve. Serving is also different from fixing. One of the pioneers of the human potential movement, Abraham Maslow, said, if all you have is a hammer, everything else looks like a nail. Yeah. So seeing yourself as a fixer may cause you to see brokenness everywhere, to sit in judgment of life itself. When we fix others, we may not see their hidden wholeness or trust the integrity of the life within them. Fixers only trust their own expertise. But when we serve, we see the unborn wholeness in others. We collaborate with it and strengthen it. Others may then be able to see their own wholeness for the first time, perhaps. Helping, fixing, and serving represent three different ways of seeing life. When you help, you see life as weak. When you fix, you see life as broken. When you serve, you see life as whole. Fixing and helping may be the work of the ego, and service the work of the soul. So yeah, the work of compassion is soul work. There's no easy answers to any of this, but may each of us learn to serve our family, friends, and others as we awaken to a deeper compassion. Let us not be fixers or helpers, but true companions of the Spirit. Sometimes it's just simple to say, I'm sorry you're in pain. I wish I could take it away. Let's just be there for each other, pure and simple. May it be so. Blessed be.